Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, original crew, man? We're back today. We got to watch Mojo 25 infamous missing person cases of each year from the 2000s to 2024. Yo, it's been 25 years since this. We want to party like. You get it?
I ain't hear you. I can't hear you.
I said it's been. Never mind.
Yeah.
Shout out to Y2K. If y'all remember, everybody thought everything was going to end once Y2K hit. Hey, I remember them days, bro. Everybody was acting crazy and stupid. I was like, what's the big deal? It's the year 2000. Yeah. But hey, with that being said, before we get into it, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go. If you want to further support, all you got to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals.
I'll get it with a thumbs up.
Oh, I just realized who this is. That is crazy. I forgot all about this. Damn. That's crazy. Let's check it out. Let's see what's about. You ready?
I'm ready.
Gabby Petito's distraught family is denouncing her boyfriend. The one person that can help find Gabby refuses to help, her family says.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're examining the most infamous cases when a person went missing in every year of the 21st century so far. We'll see what happened the year they vanished and later developments of the case.
Specially trained dogs have joined the search for the missing British teenager Jay Slater.
2000. Zeb Quinn.
As you know, there's never been a body recovered in the investigation involving Zeb Quinn's disappearance. The Asheville Police Department is committed to leaving no stone unturned.
In January 2000, after finishing work, Zeb Quinn went to see a vehicle with his co-worker Robert Jason Owens. They drove separately. According to Owens, Quinn received a page, abruptly sped away, and disappeared. His car was found several days later in a restaurant parking lot. The headlights were on, and a puppy was in the back seat. Someone had drawn a kiss and an exclamation point on the back window in pink lipstick.
Nothing. No clues that could lead to an arrest. No hints of whether he is dead or alive.
There was no sign of Quinn. A breakthrough came in 2017 when officials charged Owens with Quinn's murder. The exact circumstances are unknown, but a love triangle may be at the heart of the case.
17 years later is crazy. But who did we hear this case through? Was it Nick?
Probably
Nick, because I don't remember Ballin talking about it. I can't remember.
At the time of his conviction, Owens was already serving life for killing Christy and Joseph Codd.
At this point, investigators have called his arrest a major break in the case.
Feel very confident in the strength of the case.
2001. Sneha and Philip.
It has been a long and awful and frustrating day for the many, many relatives of the hundreds and hundreds of people who are still missing after yesterday's attack.
On September 10th, 2001, Philip had a day off from her doctor internship at the Cabrini Medical Center in New York City. However, while she was seen running errands, her husband, Ron Lieberman, didn't see her that day. The following day, the Twin Towers were attacked. As a result, the search for Philip was severely hindered, with the family losing faith in the NYPD's investigation. A private investigator managed to find evidence that suggested she had returned to her apartment shortly before the first plane struck the tower. It was speculated Philip had gone to help during the attack, only to lose her life in the process. In 2008, she was officially added to the victims of 9/11.
I was on the phone with her, and she told me that she couldn't leave because there was people who were hurt.
2002.
Would you, if that was she was part of your family, would you take that as like the resolution, or would you want more?
I mean, if you feel there is more, but if you have any type of, well, obviously they have text messages. Who is this? Her brother of missing doctor. I guess he talked to her via text, and she was like she can't leave because there's people that need help, and I don't know.
That's a little weird to me, though.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, some people don't believe in coincidences or whatever, or that she would end up there when she was supposed to be. I don't know.
But she went missing the day before. She just miraculously, after they just say she's gone missing, miraculously she comes home right before the towers And then I don't know.
Do y'all have her on camera coming back to the
Probably not.
her apartment?
You never know.
Or,
Surveillance
or did someone see her?
Didn't either. So
Told me that she couldn't leave because there was people who were hurt.
2002, Elizabeth Smart.
14-year-old Elizabeth Smart ripped from her bedroom in the middle of the night, missing for 9 months, until a remarkable turn of events.
In the dark of night, Elizabeth Smart was roused from sleep by a knife-wielding intruder. Her sister, Mary Catherine, who shared a room with Smart, lay frozen in fear and pretended to be asleep. Brian David Mitchell held Smart captive for 9 months. During that time, Smart went on several public outings with Mitchell and his wife, Wanda Barzee.
He had a big cable bolted onto my leg, which was strung between 2 trees with a lock, she said. He had the key around his neck.
They forced Smart to wear a veil and headscarf to hide her identity. Mary Catherine eventually recognized the kidnapper's voice as that of a man who once did some work on the family's home. A sketch of the man was featured on America's Most Wanted, and some of Mitchell's family members recognized him. Mitchell and Barzee were soon apprehended, and Smart was reunited with her family.
I eventually came to a point where I was like, okay, one day, somehow, I'm going to survive this. I'm going to get back to my family.
2003.
I didn't know he had previously worked for the family. I knew like every other detail, but that detail I didn't know. Did you?
It was mentioned in some
I probably didn't pay attention. Oh, this situation. Remember this?
I remember her face.
No, you remember this name?
At one side, Amanda Berry. Oh, yeah. I was like, I remember her face, and I'm pretty sure when the other ones pop up, I will. But yeah,
the black dude. He had one of the most viral interviews. Said when a white woman come running a black man.
Yeah, I remember.
Michelle Knight, Amanda Berry, and Gina DeJesus. This is easily one of the most famous kidnapping stories of our time, having attained fame through its dramatic conclusion. Between 2002 and 2004, a man named Ariel Castro kidnapped the 3 women off the streets of Cleveland by offering them lifts. They remained in his house for roughly a decade and were subjected to various forms of horrible torture. It wasn't until May 6, 2013, that Berry saw her chance of escape. Castro had accidentally left a door unlocked, and Berry was able to contact passing neighbors.
So we kick the bottom, and she comes out with the little girl, and she says, call 911. My name is Amanda Berry.
They helped Berry and her daughter escape the house, and she telephoned the police to report the kidnappings, after which the other 2 were rescued. Castro was arrested that same day, and he would later take his own life in his detention cell.
I spent 11 years in hell. Now your hell is just beginning.
2004.
Also, do you remember how you ever seen the story? Was it on Lifetime? Yeah, I remember watching that. That whole situation was crazy, and how and then the fact that he had people come over, nobody knew, like this whole time, family. He would have gatherings at the house. He would actually go take because he actually had kids with him. And he would take the girl, like the daughter, to the park sometimes. But she didn't go to school. Because I think I remember people was like, they used to ask her, hey, where do you go to school? She was like, well, And so, it was very weird.
That was crazy.
Timothy Carney. Do I remember him? I don't.
Timothy Carney. A young New Jersey man named Timothy Carney went missing in September of 2004 after calling his employer and telling him that he would be late for work. That night, Carney's empty vehicle was discovered near Newark. His parents searched years for their son, and he was finally found safe on September 23, 2011, nearly 7 full years from the day he disappeared. Unfortunately, not much information was given regarding his situation. Carney's parents believe that he was influenced by a religious organization known as the Gospel Outreach to abandon all contact with his family. 2005.
That's it? Did he come home? Or did he...
they said that he was found safe, but they have no further information.
Yeah, I heard that part.
So we don't nobody
I'm
know.
like, okay, he was found safe by who?
I guess the best thing I guess the best thing is they know he's alive.
I want to talk to my son.
I'm sure they have. To even know he's alive, they have to, some type of form of community. Damn. He really ran. Wow.
Oh, no, man. But yeah,
Them
okay.
joints be
Well,
having
good
strong
thing
holds on folks, bro.
Yeah, well, good thing they found him alive.
Yeah.
Outreach to abandon all contact with his family. 2005, Natalie
remember
Holloway.
this one.
It's the bombshell
Big time.
breakthrough in a 12-year mystery. The disappearance of Natalie Holloway, the 18-year-old who vanished while on a high
watch
school
that doc?
graduation trip to Aruba.
After graduating from high school in Mountain Brook, Alabama, Holloway and 124 classmates went to Aruba to celebrate in 2005. Hours before she was due to return home, she got in the car of Dutch national and Aruba resident Joran van der Sloot, along with his 2 friends. Holloway was not seen again.
I remember seeing Natalie in a white car driving away. The window was rolled down so we could see it was her in the back of the car.
Van der Sloot and his friends claimed they dropped her off at her hotel and didn't know what happened to her. With a lack of evidence in 2012, Holloway was officially declared dead. In 2023, while in prison for murdering Stephanie Flores Ramirez, Van der Sloot was extradited to the U.S. to face charges to fraud related to Holloway. During this, he confessed to taking her life.
So just imagine if we
Ew,
press
for
harder
what? Why?
about her situation, the other lady could have been saved. But also, it was so much behind the scenes that was going on in this situation because his dad was such a powerful person.
Yeah.
I forgot, his dad had some kind of political power going on. And you said, but why? You know what happened?
I'm not asking like that. Yeah.
2006, Brian Schaefer.
What happened to Brian Schaefer?
I heard this name too.
Schaefer met with his father Randy at a restaurant in Columbus, Ohio for a bittersweet dinner. While celebrating the start of spring break, it was only 4 weeks since his mother passed away from cancer. Afterward, the Ohio State University medical student went bar hopping with his friends. However, while at the Ugly Tuna Saloona, Schaefer's friends waited for him outside, only for him to not be seen again.
A young medical student last seen going up this escalator to a popular campus area bar. But video never showed him leaving.
CCTV footage showed him at the bar in the early hours talking to 2 women. However, there was no video of him leaving the venue and no clue of his whereabouts to this day. His father passed away in 2008 due to an accident in a storm. 2007, Madeleine McCann.
Tonight, Madeleine's parents, Jerry and Kate, are still waiting desperately for news.
In 2007, Kate and Jerry McCann took their 3 children on holiday in Lagos, Portugal, alongside friends and their kids. One evening, the British parents left their children asleep in the apartment and met with their friends at a nearby restaurant. When they returned an hour and a half later, Madeleine was gone. One of the most infamous missing person cases in the UK, there was intense speculation that Kate and Jerry were involved in covering up Madeleine's demise. However, other theories involved reports of a man being seen carrying a child that evening.
And the question now preoccupying police is, did somebody break in? And if so, how did they get through this type of shutter?
The McCanns strongly believe an assailant took Madeleine. While German police publicly named a suspect in 2020, he has yet to be formally charged for Madeleine's disappearance. 2008.
That case, I have so many theories that, I speculate so much every time I see it. Because I'm like, it was just too many, why, to just,
Yeah.
The situation just felt fine. Feels so, weird. Somebody come and checked on them, possibly left the door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just too
Or
many.
they was taking turns going to check on
And then
the
somebody said that they saw this guy walking with a kid, and they went and checked the room, and the kids is supposed to, it's too many, what?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Brandon Swanson. Celebrating the end of the spring semester at the Minnesota West Community and Technical College in May 2008, Swanson left a party and drove home. He'd been drinking, but according to witnesses, not enough to be intoxicated. He crashed into a ditch in the early hours and escaped uninjured. Swanson called his parents, who drove out to pick him up. After struggling to find each other, despite talking on the phone throughout, Swanson suggested meeting his parents at a nearby bar. Suddenly, the student uttered an exclamation, and the line went dead. He hasn't been found since. His parents, who have left their porch light for their son, helped to instigate Brandon's Law in 2009, which sped up the search for missing adults in the state. 2009, Brittany Drexel.
And then Brittany says, "Okay, Mom, I'll see you tomorrow. I love you." Those were her last words to me.
On the evening of April 25, 2009, Brittany Drexel went missing from the busy Main Strip in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and was never seen again. A few days prior, without her mother's knowledge or consent, Drexel had traveled from her home in Shiloh, New York to visit the popular vacation destination for spring break with some friends. Security footage showed Drexel arriving at the Blue Water Resort around 8 p.m. to visit a friend, and then departing a short time later.
You know what's so crazy about this? I was in Myrtle Beach the same year. Hold on. I feel like, what's that next year? Was that my senior year or the previous year? I can't remember. It might have been the next year. It might have been the next year right before. I don't know.
Because Miss Drexel didn't make it to the corner of that video, but she was in the other video, and she was on the phone at this point, but not on the phone at this point, they were to pick a very narrow, less than a minute time frame that something happened to her.
Brittany seemingly vanished into thin air somewhere between the Blue Water Resort and her hotel. 13 years later, in 2022, Raymond Moody, a convicted sex offender, confessed to kidnapping and killing Drexel. He was subsequently convicted and sentenced to life in prison.
Today marks the...
But he done lived his life.
Yeah.
You literally done lived your life.
What they said, 13 years later? 13 years later?
Could that happen in... Hold on.
22. Raymond Moody.
At 22. So 11 years later, he confessed? Because she went missing in 09? What's that? What's that? 19, 20, 21.
It's 13.
Right. Yeah, you're right. But you done lived your life, though. Mm-hmm. Were you ill?
That's what I'm like, because...
Were you financially down? Were you like, hey, I might wiggle, you know? You said that's why what, though?
No, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, are you sick? Were you sick? Or are you sick? Or for you to confess, for you to be like, oh my gosh, let me go confess after 13 years. You should have, you know what I'm saying?
Or you financially like, I'm homeless. At least I could go to jail, give me a bed, 3 meals, a shower, work a little job.
That's sad. But yeah, I definitely remember this one though.
Yeah.
Moody, a convicted sex offender, confessed to kidnapping and killing Drexel. He was subsequently convicted and sentenced to life in prison.
Today marks the beginning of a new chapter. The search for Brittany is now a pursuit of Brittany's justice.
2010, Amber Tuckerow.
I wonder, did they ever get recover the body, though?
Yeah, I do. I will.
That's the only answer I would want to know for the family.
I wondered that too.
A pursuit of Brittany's justice.
Is that the only... Was that his only victim, or did he confess to others as well?
Okay, I don't know that part.
2010, Amber Tuckerow. In 2010, Indigenous Canadian Tuckerow took her infant son and a friend for a short trip and booked a hotel in Nisku, Alberta. One evening, to get to nearby Edmonton by herself, she hitchhiked and got in the car of an unidentified man. While in the vehicle, Tuckerow got a phone call. During it, the man can be heard talking as Tuckerow mentioned he better not be driving somewhere she doesn't want to go.
You better not be taking me anywhere I don't want to go. I want to go into the city.
She then vanished. In 2012, Tuckerow's remains were found in Leduc County. Tuckerow's family has heavily criticized the cops for their response to the investigation involving an Indigenous woman. In 2019, they apologized for how they handled the case. Tuckerow's family is still looking for the driver.
Now, her only hope is that someone out there recognizes the voice and has the courage to speak up.
2011, Lauren Spearer.
It's been more than 10 years since the disappearance of IU student Lauren Spearer.
In 2011, Spearer went out with her friends in Bloomington, Indiana. The Indiana University student was heavily intoxicated from substances and drinks, at one point leaving her shoes and phone at a bar. After briefly going back to a friend's apartment, Spearer left, intending to go home. She was last seen walking barefoot along the street. After her boyfriend got in touch with employees at the bar who had her phone, he reported her missing. While the police investigated Spearer's movements, including examining a landfill and getting over 3,000 tips, no sign of her has been discovered. Spearer's parents issued lawsuits against her friends involved that fateful night, but they were all dismissed.
To the person that has knowledge about Lauren's whereabouts, if you think that our determination is any less, it's not.
2012, Derek Luking.
That's so crazy, bro. People just disappear and never be found again.
Yeah. And like, especially like when you like have like visual, like like you have them on camera, like here, and then it's just like nothing. They just like drop off, and it's just like, yeah, that's sad.
He didn't show up for work. It was super unusual. It was our, first hint that something was not normal.
In 2012, when he didn't show up to work as an aide at Peninsula Hospital in Louisville, Tennessee, Liu King's roommate reported him missing. He was then found to have spent over $1,000 on camping equipment, despite not partaking in the hobby even though he was a fan of Bear Grylls. Liu King's last sighting was leaving a hotel in Cherokee, North Carolina. His car was discovered at a parking lot in Newfound Gap, near the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Inside the vehicle were the camping equipment he'd purchased, park maps, and a strange note that requested whoever found it to not look for him. It's unknown if Liu King wrote the message. There's been no sign of him since.
Today, Derek's mother runs a Facebook page keeping his story alive.
2013, Robert Mc...
But we watched the Baller joint, and remember, it was a serial out there that was taking people's lives. Yes, in the mountains in the Smokies.
Yeah.
You don't remember.
Yeah, I don't. I was just listening, but I don't remember.
He was out there for a while. He was, never mind.
Derek's mother runs a Facebook page keeping his story alive.
2013, Robert McDonough.
Well, sometimes timing is everything, Aaron and Shannon, and good news and a happy ending right now. The gentleman behind us you're looking at, that is Robert McDonough.
If you saw this in a movie, you'd think, no, there's no way. In May of 2013, an elderly man named Robert McDonough went missing from his Leamington, Maine home. The danger was compounded by the fact that McDonough has dementia. The authorities were called and searched the nearby woods throughout the night, but found nothing. The next morning, a local news crew stationed themselves outside McDonough's house to report on his disappearance. And that is when McDonough quite literally strolled into the shot and asked the news crew what was happening. McDonough was safe and healthy, and it was reported that he had wandered out of his house and likely into the neighboring forest.
This is you identify him as Bob McDonough?
I think so. It's Bob McDonough. Yeah. He looks a lot like a guy.
Watch yourself here.
Yeah.
The rescue team may have just missed him during their search. 2014, Lars Mitank. Mitank and his friends left their home country of Germany for a vacation to Varna, Bulgaria for a week in 2014. On the day they were set to return, Mitank turned up and stated he was attacked by a group connected to an argument he had with other people about football. With the injuries leaving him unable to fly, Mitank was left behind while his friends returned home. However, he then called his mother and said that people were trying to hurt him. The next day, during a meeting with the Varna airport doctor to get cleared for flying, a construction worker accidentally walked in. This caused Mitank to panic. Captured on CCTV, he ran into the nearby woods, his last known sighting. 2015, Henry...
What? I ain't never heard that detail, like a construction worker walked in. He was... Like, it was I always seen this footage of him running out and all that, and he's never been seen since. But, like, certain little details I never heard. I didn't know he had got into an altercation. Or did I? But some of it...
I remember the clip and all of that, but I just don't remember the details.
Yes. What?
I wonder what was going on for him to, like...
And also, I ain't gonna hold you as a friend. I'm not leaving one of my friends behind like that.
No.
Like, I'll stay with you, man. At least, you know?
At least one person could have stayed.
At least one.
But yeah.
By woods, his last known sighting. 2015, Henry McCabe. Corinne McCabe was in California while her husband Henry was at their home in Mounds View, Minnesota in 2015. Seeing a voicemail from him that he left in the early hours, she listened to it. The disturbing message seemingly had groans of pain and unknown noises. Before it cut out, a voice stated, quote, "Stop it." Another indecipherable voicemail was sent to Henry's brother. Henry was soon reported missing. The police traced his last movements to being dropped off by a friend at a gas station after a night out in the early hours. Nearly 2 months later, Henry's body was found in a lake. While officially his death was not ruled as suspicious, the disturbing voicemail has led to several sinister theories. 2016.
Yeah, see, some happened.
Yeah, I'm confused as to why y'all, why not rule it? I mean, I guess because what they tried to say was accidental drowning or something.
I can't remember. But the voicemail that he left reminds me of of the voicemail Lorenzen Wright called. When he called the police when he was being hunted down, it was very much so similar to that. But I wonder why he didn't call 911. Why he only called family and friends. Well, really family because it was his wife and his brother.
Yeah.
But you didn't call 911. Or did he try to call 911 and didn't get through? Because sometimes low key calling 911 sucks because you can't reach anyone sometimes. Like that's the reason why they be like, hey, if you really need to call the direct line in your community. Never call. But that sucks because it's quicker to call 911 than calling the local. Because then I gotta know the number and there's more numbers to type in.
Right.
Corey McKeague.
This weekend marks the unwanted anniversary of Corey McKeague's disappearance. These grainy images, the last glimpse of the RAF serviceman.
McKeague was enjoying a night out in Bury St Edmunds, England in 2016, away from the Royal Air Force Base he was stationed at. While at a nightclub, he was asked to leave due to being heavily intoxicated. Separated from his friends, McKeague went to a takeout before CCTV captured him walking into a street that contained several wheelie bins. It's also believed he briefly fell asleep in a doorway. This was the last time McKeague was seen. The investigation discovered McKeague's phone was last detected at a landfill. Despite searching the area, no trace of him was found. It's believed McKeague had fallen into a bin and was crushed by a lorry as the content was taken to the landfill.
I need to find Corey.
Wow.
And I need to know how. There's no way I could carry on with the rest of my life, however that will be, without knowing that I've done everything that I can. I'm his mum.
2017, Bruno Borges. After spending several weeks writing books in 2017, Borges vanished from his home in Rio Branco, Acre, Brazil. When his bedroom at his parents' house was searched, 14 books he had written, a statue of philosopher Giordano Bruno, and encrypted messages were found within. The intrigue of the story inspired mobile games about him and wild theories of what happened. 3 months later, his family agreed to publish one of his books. 5 months after his initial vanishing, Borges, barefoot and weak, returned to his parents' house. Shortly after, he began working on mistakes from the published book, as he stated he left of his own accord. Then, Borges opened up his bedroom as an exhibit. It's speculated he disappeared to boost his book sales. 2018.
Ooh, what if? What if that could be? Damn.
Like, bro, what? And 5 months later, you just like, knock.
Yeah, that's too. Yeah.
Where were you at?
That's
for
a
the 5 months.
Hiding.
Like,
And now
where were we?
Now this mysterious man is like, more people want to know the story and read the books. Before then, what people really cared.
True.
Jamie Kloss. In 2018, Jake Patterson invaded the Kloss home in Barron, Wisconsin, armed with a shotgun. He fatally shot James and Denise Kloss before abducting their daughter Jamie and taking her to his cabin in Gordon, Wisconsin. Patterson had become fixated on Kloss after seeing her get off a school bus. 88 days later, Patterson put Kloss under his bed before leaving home, assuming that she was too scared to escape. She seized the opportunity and fled, subsequently encountering a woman who recognized her from the news.
Obviously, Jamie is under this tremendous fear and is using that fear in the beginning to keep her captive.
I think for her, she just kept it together every day. She didn't know when she was going to get out or if she ever was going to. It must have taken everything inside her to just take that moment and run.
It didn't take long for the cops to locate Patterson and extract a confession from him. He was sentenced to 2 life sentences without parole for the murders, plus 40 years for the kidnapping. 2019, Amanda Eller. Yoga teacher and physical therapist Amanda Eller decided to go for a hike through the Hawaiian wilderness. She never returned home, and her boyfriend quickly reported her missing. Her vehicle was found abandoned near Maui's Kahakapau Trail, but there were no signs of Eller. She had accidentally wandered off the trail and found herself in the middle of the remote wilderness. When it was obvious that help wasn't coming, she was forced to live off wild plants, berries, and rainwater. After over 2 long and grueling weeks, Eller was finally located by a search party and rescued via helicopter.
The last 17 days of my life have been the toughest days of my life. And
It's been a really significant spiritual journey.
She was in surprisingly good condition and was treated at a local hospital for a fractured leg.
I'm just a girl that got lost in the woods, and you guys like showed up hard. Like, this is like true aloha.
2020, Mazen
What's up?
That's crazy. I ain't never heard of that.
Yeah, I haven't heard of her story.
That's will.
Yeah.
That's straight willpower.
Hameda.
For Syrians who wanted a different kind of country, Mazen al-Hamada embodied the cause.
In 2012, Hameda was arrested in his home country of Syria for attempting to smuggle baby formula into Damascus. He was a victim of terrible abuse that forced him to confess to various crimes. In 2013, upon finally being released, Hameda sought refuge in the Netherlands. Here, he spoke out about what he endured. In 2020, Hameda returned to Syria to help people. Instead, as soon as he arrived in the country, Hameda was arrested before he vanished.
Dang.
In 2024, once Bashar al-Assad's rule of Syria was overthrown, the truth about what happened to Hameda was discovered when the activist's body was identified. After experiencing further abuse, it's believed he was murdered shortly before the fall of Damascus.
The street version of a state funeral. Something Bashar al-Assad will never get.
2021. Gabby Petito.
Gabby Petito's distraught family is denouncing her boyfriend. The one person that can help find Gabby refuses to help, her family says.
After saving money to pursue her dream, Petito and her partner Brian Laundrie went traveling across the U.S. in 2021. They planned to document their van life online. After getting strange messages from her and then not hearing from her daughter for a couple of weeks, Petito's mother reported her missing. Laundrie, who had been visiting his parents since Petito's last message to her mom, also disappeared when police wanted to speak with him. Shortly after, Petito's remains were found in Wyoming. A month later, Laundrie's remains were located. It was determined he had taken his own life. During the investigation, Laundrie's notebook was discovered that confessed he had taken Petito's life and then pretended to be her in messages to people.
Glimpses into his final words. The FBI recovered this notebook last year near the remains of Brian Laundrie.
2022.
I did not know they had actually found her. Because that's why I had asked about her earlier. I knew they had found his remains, and
maybe I didn't know. I just remember.
Took his own.
My bad.
There you
go. I just remember some remains being found, but I don't think I knew it was her either.
Yeah.
I think it was his that I remember them like speaking of that they found. Because I do remember like he wouldn't like tell them any details, right?
Well, he ran off.
Oh, he ran off but he wouldn't give them like nothing, and then so I didn't know they had found her remains.
Yeah.
I recovered this notebook last year near the remains of Brian Laundrie.
2022. Jordan Simeon.
It's been 2 weeks since a North Dakota man was reported missing in Arkansas.
He was traveling down south to Louisiana when he had car trouble.
Simeon decided to leave his home in Fargo, North Dakota to start a new life in New Orleans, Louisiana in 2022. However, as he drove down Interstate 40 in Arkansas, his car broke down. He called his friend who lived in New Orleans to let her know what had happened and that he planned to get a bus for the rest of the trip. However, Simeon never got aboard. Around 2 months later, his vehicle was located, still containing his belongings. A body was then found in a nearby creek. Later, DNA analysis concluded the body, with no signs of trauma, was Simeon. Before his disappearance, Simeon was reportedly showing symptoms of Huntington's disease, an incurable neurodegenerative illness he was diagnosed with.
What's that? You know?
I don't know full details.
2023, Alexei Navalny.
And tonight, Vladimir Putin's fiercest critic, the man who blamed the Kremlin for trying to poison him, yet still decided to fly back to Russia, is facing jail time. Hundreds of protesters have been detained.
After working as a lawyer, Navalny began his ascension into anti-corruption activism and became a prominent opponent of Vladimir Putin's reign, causing him to be suspiciously criminally charged. After an assassination attempt that Navalny believed Putin was behind, he returned to Russia in 2021. He was quickly arrested for violating parole on previous sentences as additional crimes were put on him. Shortly after receiving multiple jail terms, in 2023, Navalny vanished from prison. 3 weeks later, he was seen at a corrective colony in the Yamalo-Nenets Autonomous Okrug. In 2024, Russia announced Navalny had passed away. While it's not clear what the cause was, officials claimed a blood clot or sudden death syndrome was responsible. However, Navalny's supporters believe he was assassinated.
Critics point out that many of Putin's opponents have died just like this, mysteriously, either falling out of windows or poisoned
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe.
That's crazy. It won't surprise me though, but that's crazy.
Settings and switch on notifications. 2024, Jay Slater.
Specially trained dogs have joined the search for the missing British teenager Jay Slater.
In 2024, while attending a music festival in Tenerife, Spain on vacation from his home in England, Slater missed the bus to get back to where he was staying. Walking through the wilderness, he called his friend to tell her. With an injured leg from a cactus and his phone battery dying, the call suddenly cut out. Shortly after, he was reported missing. Social media was rife with speculation as crowdfunders were created and Slater's 2023 sentence for attacking a teenager was discovered. During the search for Slater, another missing hiker was found. A month after vanishing, Slater's body was found in a ravine. The autopsies concluded he'd fallen from high up and sustained a fatal head injury.
His body was found near where his mobile was last used when he called friends to say he was walking the many miles back to his resort.
What was the biggest missing person case the year you were born? Let us know below.
Brian is also refusing to explain why he left Gabby all alone and drove her van to Florida. These are critical questions that require immediate answers.
When I was born?
That part I don't
know.
The one case on here I literally thought they would have had, but they didn't have. What's the one of Holly Bobo? I remember like how impactful that missing person case was, and when it happened, and the national effect it got. You know about Holly Bobo.
I was just trying to see what year.
2011.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't have it either.
Me and her when she went missing, I was actually we was actually at the same college. Her days, my days, unfortunately, I never knew her and I never came across her because like the days I was on campus was the days she wasn't on campus, and days I wasn't on campus, she wasn't on campus. So I never actually came across her. Yeah. But I remember the impact on the campus that she, her missing person report had, and then how they end up finding out what happened to her so many years later. Just crazy, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But knowing who went missing my year, I have no clue, bro. I don't. I would have done 25. I don't know. But hey, man, with that being said, y'all spam us up in the comments, man. Let us know y'all thoughts about it in the comment section down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are
Kid and C.
We out.
Peace.
Time to kick it, got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar, 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 dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar, 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 dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.